Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2 CD collection. You can find a link in the video description containing the entire directory structure of this archive. It's week 73, and this is what our diggers have for us today. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply head on over to the Patreon page linked in the video description. Now without further ado, let's begin. For our first dig of the day, Seth Tierney has dug up WINGAMES /unclassified /recycler. Not quite sure what this one's going to be. Recycler. I only got an exe and a text file. The Bit Recycler, version 1.2, copyright 1992, toggle booleans. Wait a minute. Haven't we already seen something from these guys? And wasn't it something like really stupid? Inside your computer are millions of little bits. Each one of those bits can be a 1 or a 0 as your computer runs programs, change state. Understandably, this puts a lot of pressure on your bits, and after a period of time, some of your bits may start to wear out. Okay. At first, your bits become a little bit cranky, pardon the pun, and don't change quite as quickly, and after much use, they may become worn out on the edges. Bit Recycler is designed to reconstitute your bits, making sure that your bits are always in top shape. Okay, this is going to be really, yeah, I remember these toggle booleans guys now. At least it's freeware, so they weren't charging money for this stuff. But let's see how stupid this one is. Oh, well, we have a full window or something. Okay, there's an about from the toggle booleans guys. Analyze bits. Bit analysis in progress. Bit analysis is complete. 78% of your bits are in good shape. 8% are a bit worn out on the edges. 4% have seen better days. 9% are extremely worn out. Bit recycling is highly recommended. Subversive elements have been detected amongst your bits. Some of your bits are trying to overthrow your system, turning all your bits into ones. So that can't be good, I guess. So we can recycle bits, or we can execute subversive bits. It seems a little excessive. This isn't gonna go well. Well, he's, wait a minute. If you slice a 1 in half like that, you technically end up with 11. So now you got 2 ones. You're not executing them, you're duplicating them. What the heck? These were subversive bits, and now there's going to be, like, multiples of them. What are you, mad? Okay, before I get ahead of myself, let's actually just recycle the bits. There you go. Nice bit of recycling. Sorry. Boiling ground bits? Ooh. That doesn't look like healthiness. Stamping new bits. The irony is that bit logic does kind of technically work like that. Like, I mean, whenever you talk about the bits in a computer system, you always talk about low bits and high bits. And that's because the voltage signal that drives the ones and zeros is never, like, it's never nothing. Like, a 0 state on the voltage is an undefined state. So a low voltage and a high voltage are still both a positive voltage, in a sense. So you can't actually, so it's not like a 1 is on and 2 is off. 1 is high and 0 is low, or I think that's how it works. But yeah, so there is technically an undefined state, and I guess stamping them into 1s and 0s kind of makes sense. Anyways, it's telling me it's recommended that you recycle your bits at least once every 2 weeks to maintain maximum bit performance and happiness. Thank you for using Bit Recycler. Actually, now I wonder what's going to happen if I do the analyze bits thing again, now that I went through all of that. By the way, this actually takes a moment, I should mention. What the hell? I just recycled the bits and everything, and now 10% of them are extremely worn out? Yeah, so much for bit recycling. So here's the thing. This program is entirely pointless. The whole thing that this thing does is just run some animations and be all sorts of meta and everything. But you can't really get away with that here without doing at least a little bit of stuff to check stuff. Like, here's the thing. You run this little bit analysis thing, and you get some results that show up, which are clearly generated by a random number generator. Well, you need to sort of... Actually, yeah. What's going on right now is that these numbers are still the same from the last time I did the analysis. But after running the recycling and the executing and doing the analysis again, it was completely different numbers. But wouldn't it be better to actually make the numbers have like a more positive result? Like maybe the next time you analyze, instead of it being like, oh, you need to recycle your bits and everything, it's like your bits are well recycled. You can continue using your system. Well, that didn't happen. So that's kind of like if you ran a defrag program with like 15% drive fragmentation, and then when it's done, you're still at 14%. I was like, what was the point? So yeah, that was Bit Recycler. That was a totally pointless program with some animations going. I think it could have been done a little better, a little more smartly with how it does the analysis thing, like what ends up happening if you do these things again and again, but it's just a quick little freeware thing. It's not really worth complaining about. Our next dig from Michael Madsen is WINGAMES /board /CRIBBAG. This probably doesn't have anything to do with cribs or bags. It's probably cribbage. Yeah, it even says it on the exe there. So why did they drop the E on the folder name? There's all kinds of weird stuff like that in this CD. Anywho, Cribbage help index. Fun with Cribbage. Overview. What? Oh. I read this as sucking for a second. I'm thinking to myself, what? That can't possibly be a real name. But no, it's Sir John Suckling. So this is probably going to be an interesting one to check out because of a very simple thing. I don't actually know how to play Cribbage. This seems like it would be like basic upbringing knowledge, because it's like one of those card games that everybody knows how to play, but I don't. I think somebody tried to teach me once and I just didn't want to. So yeah, Cribbage is one of those few card games I don't know how to play, so okay, I think I've got a basic understanding of how to play this, but I'm probably going to be terrible. Cribbage version 1.01 by Walter Warnia and Greg Baker. Cribbage Shareware program, try for a period of 21 days. If you like it, send $15. Tuxedo, New York. That isn't annoying at all. At least the maximize is fine, but, yeah, that could get very headache-inducing very quickly. And the worst part is, that's apparently what the game does if you're not playing it, so that's kind of obnoxious. Also, it's only using the standard backings for the cards and windows. And that's actually an interesting thing, that all these backings here are like defaults that are available in Windows. I don't know if it's like specific to the solitaire files, like if there's a particular DLL that's related to this, but yeah, these are all the standard backings. And then I definitely set it to beginner level. And new game. Oh, interesting. You can cut the cards. So, something I should point out about computer programming, which makes this card cutting thing totally worthless. When you're creating a computer program and you're doing your random number generation and everything, there's no rule that says that you have to do things the way that's intended. For instance, if you create a deck of 52 cards, and you randomly shuffle them around so that you have all of them in a particular random sequence, nobody knows what that sequence is, just a computer. So, regardless of where you cut the cards, you haven't changed... You've changed, like, the randomization in memory, but you don't know what that randomization is, and there's no factors for determining it. So, as far as the computer program's concerned, maybe it's not going to cut the cards. Maybe it's just going to leave it as a random sequence, and this is just a totally superfluous thing. The player doesn't know. The player can't know. So, I just find stuff like this amusing when it comes to random number generation. This could be totally useless, and the player would never have a clue. And yeah, it's saying right here, computer's cut and your cut. But these could just be randomly selected cards or randomly generated cards. It didn't have to be cut from a deck or anything. We don't know. So, anyways, select 2 cards for the computer's crib. I am totally lost here. I read the instructions, but I still have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, at this point, I'm just sort of going on autopilot. I'm just picking cards and seeing what happens. I really have no idea what I'm doing here. Okay, I think I'm done with this. That's Cribbage. It seems like it plays perfectly fine, but I clearly don't know the rules to this game, so I'm just sort of bumbling along, and it just feels totally random to me, but that's because I don't know the rules. But that's an interesting point I should make, is that I'm actually able to play the game despite not knowing the rules. So, I don't know what that says about Cribbage, or maybe just about, in general, like just how simple or how complicated the game is. Or maybe it's just, this particular version is just programmed well enough that it doesn't matter. So, in any case, Cribbage for Windows. The guy was charging $15 for it. I don't know. It seems like it'd be a fair price if this is your kind of game. And we're finishing things off with a team dig today. Paul Shearer and Scott Percival have dug up DOSGAMES /Arcade2 /PIRATESG. Wait a minute. This can't possibly be Pirates Gold. Like, I mean, that wouldn't make sense. Like, it says 1992. Like, the file name is Pirates. Like, maybe it's called Pirates Gold, but it's not the Pirates Gold? What's the file ID.this say? Whoops. How did I type in 6? Captured by Pirates. Okay, so it's not Pirates Gold, so I have no idea why there was a G on that folder name. So, okay then. Let's actually try this. Oh, we've got, mouse controls, and a guy from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Steve Green, with apparently Prodigy and CompuServe addresses, but no internet address. That's actually kind of unusual. And graphics by Russ Chancellor, and the interface by David Sanders. And apparently the guy is very adamant that this be sold for free. Which is fair enough. Like, I mean, there's a thing that would happen where distributors would take other people's games and then try to sell them. That really did happen. Quite frequently, actually. So, it kind of makes sense that some people would be like, hey, this is supposed to be freeware. If you're paying money for this, no. So, anyways. Actually, looking at this, I think I may have played this before. I'm not entirely certain, though. So, who do we want to play as? You gotta play as Blackbeard. And it looks like we can actually change character names if we want to. And let's just make it a 2-player game. Let's go up against Captain Kidd. And the other 2 will be off. Game options. We can have a treasure map hint window, cannonball speed, wave, whale, and vortex odds. I guess occasionally. And computer difficulty easy. Okay. So, how to play. First, you must select a real-life pirate from the 18th century. Use toggle switches, Each player begins the game with a fleet of 20 schooner ships, of smaller, faster attack ships, 1 sloop ship armed with a cannon, which your pirate is on, and 500,000 in stolen treasure. That's a lot of money for 18th century. So there are a lot of rules here. But hopefully it won't be too tricky to play. So, start game. So we got coordinates for map pieces. So we can complete the treasure map, I'm guessing. Okay, so let's place our ship. Here. And here. Oh, we're still placing ships. Here? Oh. Does combat happen automatically? Maybe. What if I put one here? Okay, it looks like combat does happen automatically. Oh, but there is a trading menu, apparently. Okay, so it seems like you can move your ships, but then that takes up a turn. Okay, I see what's going on here. So, let's try this again now that I have a better idea of what I'm doing. So, when we start... Oh, that's interesting. That actually, if you hit the OK button on a particular character, it actually tells you about them. Interesting. Okay, so here's what's going on here. When we start the game, we have our ships on the side here. Now this is telling us that we have a sloop ship to place, as well as one of these ships, the schooner ships. Now the very first ship we place is going to be our sloop ship. So we'll put this guy here. Oh, he's going all the way over there? Jeez. So now we place our schooner ships. Now I think we may have to arm them with cannons. I'm not sure what the fire guns are for. Okay, so what I'm reading here suggests that the fire guns are the weapons for the schooner ships, and the cannons are the weapons for the sloop ships. So let's actually let's actually start this over again. New game. Start a game. Okay. So we'll place our sloop ship. Really? You're gonna put it that close? Okay. So now we'll buy some fire guns. And we'll place a ship, like, right here. Cool, so they are actually attacking properly now. It doesn't seem like you have any control over who you attack. So it's just a matter of placing your ships in spots that make it good to attack from. Okay, do I have any fire guns left here? I have one fire gun left. Although apparently I seem to be getting money routinely, so... buy more fire guns. See, this game, it seems like it would be like strategic to some extent, but the fact that you can only place one piece or make one move per turn kinda seems a little counterintuitive, so it seems like the best strategy is just place pieces down. And the cannons and fire guns seem to have decent range, so it doesn't seem to really matter where you put them. Okay, so now it's starting to get to a point where the enemy ships are sort of over here, and I'm sort of over here. So I'm going to have to start placing ships to bring everything in a little. The cannons do seem to have pretty impressive range. And, you know, if I save up enough... Well, no, I have to start buying more... Okay, so I have 4 of these guys left. Let's see if I can save up to the point where I can actually get, like, another sloop ship going, and then I can put it down here. Okay, I'm almost there. So I'll make the purchase. Maybe scare him a bit. And then I need another 200,000 for the cannon. Hopefully I don't get destroyed before then, but we'll see. Okay, I've got enough for the cannon. So, with any luck, I can put this down. And that should really start screwing him up, because these ships apparently have a lot more firepower. They do more damage with their cannonballs than these other ships are doing with the fire guns. At least that's the impression I'm getting here. Okay, even though it's not looking too good, I've got two sloop ships going, so he has to destroy both of them in order to defeat me at this point. And I've been pulling in enough money to start buying more stuff. So I think I might have him. Cool, I actually won. So that actually took a while. I've been recording for like 20 minutes. And apparently this can be played with up to 4 players at a time. I imagine with 4 players going, this would probably get pretty intense. There does seem to be a lot of luck involved in it. But it's still kind of neat. It's a very basic game. I don't like the fact that... Well, actually, I don't know. It's kind of weird that you have to buy the ships and the weapons for them separately. It's kind of weird that you can't like put the fire guns on the sloops and you can't put the cannons on the schooners, but it's kind of interesting that you can put the ships down without the weapons. Now, you might think that would be a dumb idea, but it does make it a decoy that the other ships are going to attack without necessarily knowing that they don't have to, because the game is automatically deciding which ships are attacking which ships. So having a decoy that doesn't attack could still be a valid strategy if you don't have the money for weapons. So it's kind of interesting. So, yeah, this is actually a pretty neat game. And it's freeware, so, I mean, hunt it down, give it a try. It's definitely extremely simple, but I imagine with, like, actually, you could probably do, like, full computer players. Yep, and just watch the computer play it. And yeah, I imagine this would be a lot more fun with, like, multiple people going and everything. Although it'd probably be a little crazy with 4 people clustered around the mouse, because it is mouse-controlled.